Hello everyone. So today I'm going to do an instructional video on a particular function in Twinfield, and the function is how you would use the automated prepayments function within the application. This is a query that came from one of our clients today, and something I thought might be useful for some others. So what I've done is I've logged into Twinfield from the dashboard, and I've run a specific report. That you can actually run the prepayments from any general ledger based report. Okay, and you will need to have a good idea of what your periods are before you create a prepayment. Okay, so to explain that further, Twinfield is a period-based accounting system. So when you log in, you might have have this function as a favorite, as I do, or you can navigate to it through the company settings area of the system, or you can just search for it using the search box at the top here. Okay, but I've gone in and I've had a look at my system, and you can see that my year end is June, and I just need to have a good knowledge that therefore June will be my period 12 and what month I'm accounting for. Okay, so as you normally would with prepayments, I tend to look at it over time because I want to understand if I've got any rises in costs in any particular month. Okay, so here's an example here. You can see that there is an elevated cost in this particular nominal code in October. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to investigate that. So I'm going to click on the number and bring up the list of transactions that make up that number. And I can see that the main number contributing to that is this 384. Okay, and if I view that transaction, I can also then drill down into the image. And I can see that this is actually for 12 months, okay, for an Office 365 license. So with that in mind, if I navigate back, okay, I can just close these windows because I'm now done with them, okay. And if I click, the reports always work on that fashion, so it'll always go from balances to transaction report to transaction. So I close the transaction report, and if I am in any transaction list, when I click on that number, you can see I have the option to spread across periods. Okay, so it will be balances report to transaction list, and if you are in a transaction list, you will see that there is this option to spread that number across periods. And I'm only spreading that number because that is the number that I clicked on. So if I click on that, okay, before I do this, I'm just going to check that my relevant periods are open. Okay, so because I'm going to need, if this transaction is in my period 4, okay, so my period 4 is currently closed, so I'm just going to open it and then go back. Okay, if I make this a bit bigger, so what is happening is it's saying I want to spread from this nominal code because that's the nominal code I was looking at when I was searching for that transaction. This is the cost amount. This says make contra entry in period 1. So period 1 would be when the cost has arisen, which is period number 4. And I'm going to say yes, and I want it to be in period 4. So this is the period that I'm going to take it out of my P&L and put it into my balance sheet. Okay, so and then after that it's saying when do you want to spread that cost from. Okay, so if I go back to look at the specific transaction and look at the image, you can see that it doesn't actually say, oh it does here, it says that it's from the 4th of the 12th 2021 to the 3rd of the 12th 2022. So that's going to be my period 5 all the way through to period 4 in the next year. Okay, so if I go back to my spread, I actually want this to be from period 5. Okay, I want to spread it to my prepayments. If you had cost centers, you might enter these. I'm going to do it for a fixed number of periods in this instance, but I could do it for a fixed amount if I wanted to. And now I've successfully entered my settings. Okay, so I'm going to now select next, and then this has prepared my journals for me. Okay, so if we look at what is happening, the full cost is coming out, crediting my cost and debiting prepayments. And then from there, period 5, I then have the relevant spreads over the following 12 months, which would be the correct accounting settings for that prepayment. I would always encourage people to do prepayments as provisional, because if they're final, you can't change them. And if for whatever reason your periods might change in the future, this will cause you problems if they are final. So I would always encourage you to do them provisionally. If I then click provisional, that will post those transactions. I can then go back to my report and refresh this. And what you will see is that my costs have now gone down. And if I go into this nominal code, you can see that the 384 has been released and taken out. And if I look at a subsequent month, you can see that I've got the relevant spread in here, this journal, which was the spread of those costs. Okay, so that is the process of creating a prepayment in Twinfield. If you have any questions on this, please contact support and they will be able to help you. Thank you. Bye.